What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a live recording of my actual Conquer acquisition program. It's going to be a live recording of the group call. And what I'm talking about is just the overview of the funnel that I'm using right now. The funnel that has scaled my new program, Conquer Acquisitions, from 0 to 15K in monthly recurring revenue in just 2 months. I'm pretty much just talking about like the basic overview and the foundation of the actual funnel, but also the tactical things that have been working very, very well for me. Like the story post, like how I'm booking calls, how I'm making content, and just a bunch of other tactical things that hopefully you guys could apply to your agency as well and just to your online business. But with that being said, let's get right into the live recording. So most of you have already seen this funnel, but I'm pretty much just going to break it down even more and just pretty much just go over what has really been working for me. But let's just go over the basics. Like, what am I doing right now? So I'm running 2 top of funnel ads. Most of you probably already seen it. Just a done for you content. Again, hyper targeted. They value this. They follow this format. The hook, the big idea, value, action steps, CTA. The point is we want to follow, we want to drive with value before we ask. And the ask is the call to action. So I'm running these. I am going to be upping my ad spend. Don't know exactly what to. Honestly, I'm not even spending that much money on ads right now. Most of my stuff is being like pretty much clicking organically, which is kind of cool, but I will be upping my ad spend. But I'm optimizing for followers, right? We want to build our following around our offer, whether it's day traders for David, online coaches for Valdemar and August. Emery's going to be SMMA owners. Sam, in your case, we still have to talk about this, but let's just go with local businesses for now in the Florida area. But we want to build a following around the offer. Who are we trying to attract? But this part is honestly not the hard part. Getting new eyes, top of funnel, once you figure out the ads, once they start kicking, you are going to start attracting your people. The hard part is just the nurturing and building the trust. Again, like how quickly can we turn a stranger into somebody who's going to pay us thousands of dollars? We do that with story posts, organic, YouTube, and retargeting ads. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, guys, is my story posts have been killing it lately. I've been booking a lot of calls straight from my story post, but specifically polls. You guys have probably always seen on my story, right? What type of agency owner are you? Want to learn more? Are you a content or creative agency owner? Do you run an agency? The only reason I'm doing this is because it's a lot easier for people to react on a poll than it is to DM you a word, right? Like I used to do, hey, DM me this if you want to learn more. It's a lot harder for somebody to do that. It just takes up more time, even though it's like a second. It's just more friction, right? But if I can get people just to simply click on a button to verify that they're either an SMA owner, an online coach, a day trader, but by first, I have to provide value first. Like before these stories, I provide some sort of value, whether it's a client, a testimonial, whether it's just some value, whatever it is. I have people interact with my stories. And out of the people who interact with my stories, those are going to be the people that I DM and try to get on a call. But other than that, organic, we want to make sure that our organic is just absolutely smacking people in the face of who we're trying to attract. We want to make content on the actual outcome that our people want, whether it's more leads, more views, whatever it is, scale your Discord, save time, whatever it is. We want to make content based on that. And we're the solution that's going to take them there. We're the solution that's going to take people from point A to point B. That's who we are. YouTube, I do want to get all of you guys' YouTube firing up soon. We're not trying to be like YouTubers like Logan Paul and stuff, but we just want to post valuable content. I don't know how many of you guys have watched my YouTube before joining this program, right? Like how much trust was built on the YouTube, right? A lot. Imagine if your ideal customer was able to see a 15-minute video of how, in your case, Sam, for example, of how SEO, of how social media is able to take them to where they want to go. Massive trust is going to be built. And retargeting ads, I mean, you guys probably always see my retargeting ads. The point is you always want to be in your prospect's face. The goal is to get them as a follower, but after that, you want to constantly be in people's face. Hit them with content, hit them with organic, hit them with YouTube, hit them with free trainings. You always want to be annoying to them, but always value driven, providing value. Hey, free training. Hey, check this out. Free case study. Go ahead, Sam.
I got a question. Are you guys using your personal or your business?
Personal. Everything is personal. We want to build our personal brand, right? Like there's no such thing as like B2B, B2C. It's P2P, people to people, right?
For sure.
Like people buy from people. So we want to build a personal brand. But that's that, right? And all four of these are designed to nurture people and start conversations with leads. Because again, we want to build the following, build trust, and then we want to start conversations, DMs. At this point, it's just a numbers game. I have an example right here. Um, this pond, right? This is like our lead pool, which is our followers, people that we're following. Now it's our job, like we're going to be getting these from ads, all that stuff. Now it's our job to actually start conversations and start hooking these leads and start booking calls. Now there's three ways that I do this. Option one is I DM all of my followers, like right when they follow me, or an hour after, or the day after. I hit them with the "Hey brother, appreciate the follow," like the introduction, and then you follow the script. Option two, which is what's been really working for me, have people interact with one of your stories or pieces of content, and then message them. In this case, it's the polls. Very easy, you know. I post polls almost every day. These people are typically very warm, right? If they voted on your stuff, they're somewhat warm and they're somewhat interested into what you have to offer. Option three, which is the warmest out of them all, these people probably just book calls right away, is if they DM you for a free training. So which this all comes down to the retargeting ads. I'm not sure how many of you DM me for the free training. But those are going to be the warmest leads. Now, ideally, you want to maximize all three of these. You want to be doing all three of these as once, DMing your followers, posting stories on a daily basis, having retargeting ads with free trainings or free case studies. Once you have all three of those in place, you will be cooking. Yeah. And this is exactly how I kind of added 6 people in the last 30 days. And it's by following these three things: consistency, my content, and sticking to one thing. These three things, you stick to this, you will get results every day, like all the time. I post every day. I'm focusing on the inputs and I'm hitting my KPI. So later, right after this, I'm going to show you guys the KPI tracker. It's super fire because like you can literally like put in the numbers that you need to hit to get the results you want. And we're going to figure that out for each and every one of you. My content, dialing in the messaging, long form content has been huge in story posts. I'm going to give you some exercise to really dial in your messaging as well and sticking to one thing. I used to be the person who used to switch a lot, like niches and stuff. Like just focus on one niche and give it enough time. I know we talked about this August in Valdemar, but stick to one niche, stick to one thing and give it enough time. Like go all in on it, you know, and be hyper focused on that one person. I used to target like just agency owners and online coaches. Didn't really work out. And the only reason I was doing that is because everyone else was doing it. But once I really started focusing on content agency owners, niching down, and this is what we're also doing with the other agency, real estate investors. Once you get that enough time, once you start posting every day, hitting your inputs, being hyper focused, you will start getting results. You will be known as that person in that industry who's the expert. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Do you guys have any questions on this, on how you can apply this to yours? Or like, what are you guys going through right now that I can kind of help on before I get into the KPI tracker and stuff?
I got a question about the personal brand building on your Instagram page. So
Uh,
are you not posting any other non-relevant content, or are you they
yeah,
follow?
so if you look at my page, I like to break down half of my content targeting the people that I want to target, which are you guys. And the other half is just like stuff about me. Like my post yesterday was just about my partner and I, exercise you can do. Just like your personal stuff, it can be your story. It can be whatever it is you like to do. It can be your hobbies. As at the end of the day, we are building your personal brand, right? Um, that's how you're going to separate yourself from everyone else, by being personal. But to answer your question, I do like half and half.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if you don't have any questions on this, let's just hit the KPI tracker right away. Mute them. So this KPI tracker, guys, that I'm going to be giving you, essentially what it is you can literally input all of the information that you need based on the numbers, and you know what numbers to hit. So for example, this may be confusing, but I'm gonna try to break it down. I have around like a 35% closing rate. All right. Let's just do this. My closing rate is about 35%. It's increasing, but right now it's around 35%. And out of all the conversations I have, around 20 to 30% of them will lead to calls, meaning like however conversations I'm having in the DMs, usually 20 to 30% of them will lead to book calls, right? Out of the DMs I sent, usually 20 to 30% of them will lead to conversations. And out of all the followers I get, I typically will DM 20 to 30% of them. So at this point is figuring out what your goal is, right? For example, David, let's just say you wanted to add 20K in December. We have to work our way back based off the information that I kind of already have. Your numbers may be completely different, but this is all about tracking your numbers, which I'll show you guys exactly how to with this KPI tracker. But let's just say you wanted to hit 20K in an average price. You're trying to sell a 2,500 package or a 3K package. There you go. So that means that you need to spend, if you want to hit 20K in revenue, you need to spend around $2,300 on ads. You need to gain at least 1,500 followers. You need to send 476 DMs, have 95 conversations, have 19 calls booked, and 7 calls closed. That's how you're going to hit your 20K. Now, typically, once your personal brand is really built out and stuff, these numbers will get a lot better. Your closing rate might be 50%. Your conversations to call will be, for example, if we could like literally do this, and we just change the numbers up a little bit. Now you only need to spend 1,500, right? So as these numbers increase, you'll start to really realize that what you need to do, which are your inputs, which you can control, what numbers you have to hit in order to hit your goal. All right. For example, Emery, what is your goal? Let's just say by January.
Maybe like 10K, I guess.
Add another 10K. Let's get it. And your average price, what was it again? What was the package?
Like 2,500.
2,500. Let's go off like my numbers. Let's go like 25%. Closing rate, let's go with like 30%. Let's also go with 25%, just so we can be kind of boom. All right. If you wanted to add 10K, you need to obviously close 4 calls. You gotta book 13 calls. You got to spend $1,600 on ads. You need to get 1,000 followers. You need to send that many DMs. You need to have that many conversations in order to add 10K. And that is a great RO. That is a great return on ad spend, right? It's almost like a 9X. So what I want you guys to do is I added this on Notion, which is right here on the KPI tracker. I want you guys right after this to go in there, duplicate it, make it your own, and really figure out what goals you want to hit and backtrack, right? Work, whatever the word is. Yeah, pretty much backtrack and see what exact numbers you have to hit in order to hit your goals. Also, I have a VA who tracks all my KPIs, which I'm gonna be making a video on soon. But with all this, I pay VA $200. She sits in my DMs and she just tracks my KPIs. She tracks how many DMs I'm sending, how many conversations I'm having, how many calls I'm booking, yada 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 yada. So I'm gonna make a training on that. But based off this, guys, do you guys have any questions based off this KPI tracker? No. No, I'm gonna do exercise. David, how much do you want to add? And let's just go January.
Probably like 10K, yeah.
All right, your average price probably around 2,500, right?
It's I think it's 2K.
2K. All right, that means you gotta close 5 people. Means you gotta spend around 2K in ads. Again, great return on ad spend, bro. Right, it's 5X. You got to gain 1,300 followers, have that many DMs sent. What this does, guys, like you see it proof in your mind what exactly you have to do, how much money you have to spend in order to hit your goal. Simple as that. So make sure I want you guys to do is right after this. The next thing I want to cover is my content tracker. This is something that I'm going to be giving you guys as well. Let's see how we can open this bitch. Now, this content tracker, I track my YouTube, I track my IG, and Yeah, pretty much just my YouTube and my IG. I track everything from my views to what's working to how much I'm posting. I'm going to be giving you guys access to this as well, because this all goes down to your messaging and how you can improve your content. But you want to evaluate your content on a weekly basis, like on a Sunday. See what content is doing good and see what content is doing bad. See what is resonating with your audience, because obviously when you're testing out your content, if you're making a video about SMMA owners and it gets a lot more views than your other videos, you know that that video is going to perform well. So you need to double down on that type of content. So, but the only way you figure that out is if you are tracking your numbers and you are tracking everything. I also have a VA who tracks all this stuff for me. Like, I would never do this personally. I'm just lazy like that. I just have like another VA I pay around like $200. She tracks all this stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys access to that as well. It's on the Notion. It's on the Notion. Where is it? Right here, social media tracker. So you guys can get access to that as well. Next things I want to talk about is improving your content and messaging, because honestly, this is what really moves the needle. Once you really figure out your messaging and the actual content for your ideal person, that's when your cost per lead is going to drop. That's when you're going to close a lot more people. And that's when you're just going to really start seeing the needle move, right? Once you start getting that traffic from the ads. But most of you guys have already done this practice. I want you to do this practice at least once a month, the caveats and the transformation, because this will change all the time once you start learning more about your prospects. Do this stuff. Like, I want you guys to do this stuff again tomorrow or right after this. Really figure out your messaging. But 6 ways to really improve the messaging on the person you are trying to attract is 1, test. Test a bunch of content. And again, you have to track the content that you are posting, seeing which is doing the best, and then double down on that type of content. 2, pick one side. This has been big for me, guys. You want to pick one side. For example, right now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be kind of not like shitting on the done for you, but I'm going to be saying that, like, hey, there's a better model than the done for you, right? So I'm picking a side. For example, you'll see a lot of marketers online saying, hey, running ads is shit. You want to only do organic. You also have tons of people who say, hey, organic is shit. You want to run ads. You have tons of people who say, hey, vegetarians are scammers. Go red meat all the way, right? It's picking one side. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to attract that one side. It's almost like if you look at like any cult or any person, for example, Andrew Tate, he is heavy on one side, on like the masculine side, right? So he's gonna pull that following. He's gonna really pull that personal brand and attract people based off that one side. And that one side is the big idea. So if we go back to the ads up top here, once you figure out your big idea and you pick your one side, then you just start running ads on that, right? For example, like I just did a new ad on don't for you content agencies isn't like the best model to scale to like 30, 40, 50K. That's my big idea. But now you honestly will start learning that more and more as you test. But each individual industry is going to have their own big idea, right? Whatever it is. For Emery, in your case, SMMA owners, I don't know exactly what that big idea would be, but it's probably like cold emails suck or personal brand is the way, right?
Yeah, I just typed down a video idea. It was literally like DMs and emails suck. That was my
Exactly. So you're picking that one side, and the big idea is the personal brand for SMMA owners. That DMs, emails are no longer the best alternative to scale. It's personal brand. And you want to set your identity as that person, right? And just hyper focus on that, post so much content, and it's just like a compounding effect. But the third thing, yeah, you need to track your content and you need to evaluate it at least once a week. Like every Sunday, just evaluate your content, see what's resonating with people, see what's not. That's how you're going to improve, guys. Hop on more calls. In your case, David, you don't really like, you understand the day trading niche, but like once you start hopping on more calls, you're going to start to really figure out what day traders really struggle with. Like, what do they actually want out of building a Discord? This and stuff. Once you figure that out, you just make tons of content on that shit. You double down on that. Number 5 is just doing this exercise consistently. Like, again, like once a month at least. And Sam, we'll talk about this, all this stuff tomorrow. You may be confused, but we'll talk about, or Friday, whenever we have our call. And the last way is just leveraging big names. This is a very easy way just to kind of get views on social media, is leveraging big names in the space, but also incorporating it into the actual like service you're providing. So David, again, I'm just going to go to you. In your case, you can talk about a big day trader who has scaled their Discord community to like whatever, and you make a video on how they do that. This is how Johnny scaled his Discord community to 50K a month just by posting content, you know? So you're relating it back to your service, but you're leveraging someone's big name. Easiest way to kind of build credibility, to show your expertise, and just to provide value. Easiest way to get views, right? Emery, in your case, the easiest one to do is Iman. This is how Iman scaled his stuff. It wasn't cold DMs. It wasn't cold emails. It was personal brand. That's how Iman scaled, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to kind of show you, give you guys some value, show what's been working for me. Try to provide as much value as you can. But this KPI tracker and this content tracker is going to be massive. I'm going to make trainings for this probably this week, showing how I have my VA track all this stuff. Again, like, I hate tracking numbers, but it needs to be done. Tracking your numbers, you need to understand your numbers. But yeah, now I'm just going to kind of open it up to Q&A, guys, if you guys have any questions or just talk about stuff. So that's the end of the live recording, guys. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of that. If you want more content like that and just more content on how to scale your content agency and your online business, make sure to subscribe for more.